What is up, everybody? It's your boy Rogue here. So, I ain't gonna lie, I'm finna shoot this video straight off the dome because it's something that's really true to me right now. And casual players, bro, what the hell, man? So, there's been a lot of videos in the community. I saw my boys at Team APS, they did a video on a mid-core player and how we don't have a lot of mid-core players, which I respectfully disagree with. I think mid-core players evolve. I watched this rant, if you want to say, was inspired from a video I watched Joshua Smith did. So shout out to him. He actually reacted to the Team APS video about the mid-core player, and that caused a giant discussion in the community. So if you guys haven't seen Team APS video and or Joshua Smith's reaction, check it out. Awesome video. So the whole point is, at least from what I gather and from what I've been seeing in the community, players are still complaining that casual play in Yu-Gi-Oh does not exist. And like I've been saying for the longest, bro, yes it does. So the biggest argument I always tell people is when they say, oh, we can't play Yu-Gi-Oh casual anymore. I always tell people, why don't you just get some buddies, go get some brewskis from the store, hang out at the crib, play your favorite rogue decks, and call it a day. I get people in my comment section saying, oh, you're crazy, you're slow. If you think that's a solution, then you're the problem. And I'm just like, bro, the freaking entitlement is insane. Yu-Gi-Oh's a game that's been out 20 plus years, right? And in 20 plus years, we've had our ups and downs with casuals. I remember playing Yu-Gi-Oh 20 years ago when I was in high school at this point. People would casually play it all the time. Didn't even know what a locals was. This is pre-local era. People didn't even know card shops existed, but they just played the favorite decks they can. And every once in a while in high school, we would have players like myself, players like a lot of the boys I used to know that used to play and did good on the local scene, play with people in high school, destroy them in the game, and you know, people were like, oh, you guys are really good, and then we tell them about the card shop, and that's how people found out about the card shop. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys got similar stories as well. I just don't understand what is it with Yu-Gi-Oh players nowadays feeling so goddamn entitled that they feel like, you know, everything's supposed to be balanced. Everything is not going to be balanced. Yu-Gi-Oh's biggest issue, in my opinion, right now is always going to be price support and the prices that we're getting for expensive the game as it is. Yu-Gi-Oh card game right now is so freaking expensive to play competitively. It makes it almost not worth it for players who have the money but don't really want to invest it. Like I've said plenty of times, if I didn't have my YouTube channel, I wouldn't have bought more Charmies because them things are going to pay for themselves in dividends. But outside of me getting the more Charmies from my Ryzel deck, I actually enjoy the format. I enjoy playing Ryzel because another thing that's been going on in the community right now, players are saying, oh, this format is crap. I'm sick of this game. I'm just like, bro, bye. Like, am I the only player who sees this and it's just like, you know what? Bye. Go play freaking One Piece. Go play Union TCG. Go play Gundam TCG. I do not care. And if you're a subscriber to my channel and don't like what I'm saying, I don't care, bro. Like I said, I've been playing this game for so freaking long, and I'm the long-time hero player, so I definitely understand how it is playing an underpowered deck against the metagame and grinding it out. But I personally, like, and Joshua Smith talked about this in his video, in his reaction video. The point of playing rogue decks is to try to beat the meta deck. You're the underdog. One of the reasons why I played heroes so long, up until the point where I feel like it just couldn't be played anymore, is because I got a thrill out of going to locals, and even though I was going X2 every week or X3, the times I went X1 or undefeated felt so freaking good. But at the same time, as a long-time competitive player, it felt so annoying because it's like, dang, I just went undefeated with heroes, but I know goddamn well the reason why I went undefeated is because they didn't know what the hell my deck was doing. Some of the better players might not be in the shop that day. And on top of that, it was just my day. Everything went in my favor. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with playing your favorite deck. Like, we have Supreme Numbers coming out, and they have a lot of good archetypes getting support, like Spearoids, Six Samurais, and, you know, different things like Ryzel with the Eclipse Twin, even though that's technically not Ryzel support, is Ryzel support. Let's get real. Like, we have a lot of decks getting support, and people are still freaking complaining about either that they think the set is bad, they think, you know, people shouldn't, you know, do anything for Yu-Gi-Oh. Everyone wants to rant, and it's just like, it's getting to the point where I watch people's videos online, and like I said, this is no shade to nobody. I see the complaints online. I'm just like, are y'all complaining just to complain? Now, once again, I am the pot calling kettle black. I did all of this stuff I'm talking about right now, but eventually I had to shut up and started thinking and woke the F up and said, you know what? I can't play this game and complain about it anymore. If I want to play this game and play it competitively, I can't use my crappy rogue deck and compete. There's plenty of other good rogue decks to use in the metagame, right? So, for example, right, I was using heroes, and heroes can still do good on a local level. Heroes is not terrible, especially post Suda. They get the new Evil Hero support where they're going to be able to do a lot of great things. But beyond that, there's tons of good rogue decks / budget decks you can use. Great example, Jesse Cotton, pro player. He loves Meliodas. Guess what? How expensive Meliodas is? Dirt freaking cheap. So the thing about Yu-Gi-Oh is right now, y'all, that I'm seeing, people want to complain because they can't play their favorite pet deck anymore without realizing there's other good, cheap alternatives you can play in the format and compete on a decently high level. Like, for example, Meliodas, off the rip. Heroes, for the local level, Heroes gonna be good. Tenny Sorso, another great deck that's not high investment that could do good. If you guys were smart and studied the OCG, if you'd have gotten early on the Primite stuff, you could have started saving up, picking up the Primite stuff, and getting ready for the Blue Eyes White Dragon stuff that's coming out. Blue Eyes is gonna be a structure deck. Over the years, Konami have gave us fire structure decks for the budget player. Salamangreat is a good example. Monarchs is a good example. Over the recent years, we had the Traptrix, the waifu deck. That's another great example. And hell, even if you want to play something cool right now, the Mitsurugi archetype that's coming out in Submarine Darkness, it's not going to be that expensive. Like, yeah, you might have to invest maybe $100 to get the main guy. And I know, trust me, I'm not rich at all. I'm freaking poor, so I don't think I'm trying to brag like I'm rich. I just make investments because I have a YouTube channel, let's be real. But outside of, you know, what I can do, the average Yu-Gi-Oh player who has a job can do these things too. I just think players just want everything for free, and it just don't work that way. This is a car game. This is a hobby. I'm gonna give you an example, right? I love cars. I'm a car guy. I like racing my car. I haven't raced. You know, I've done some. I went to Mexico a few times and raced. Did a little road racing in Mexico. You know where it's legal at. But you know, at the same time though, I can't complain when my 2016 FRS gets smoked by a BMW. I can't complain. Either I shut up and invest the money to get in my FRS a supercharger to compete, or I just, you know, accept the L and move home my day, or just understand that I'm using an underpowered car and I bought it because it looks nice. Translate that to Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of pit players who want to play these rogue decks, a lot of the casuals even, the mid-core player. Like I said, this is no shot at nobody, no shot at Team APS. I love their channel, awesome channel. I'm cool with a lot of the guys over there. It's just that, you know, there's a lot of hate in the community for the competitive crowd, and I don't agree with it because everyone thinks that we just don't empathize with the rogue player / budget player, and it's not just that. We all understand this game is expensive, but I feel like we're complaining about the wrong shit in the game. Like, you can play, there's nothing wrong with going to locals with some buddies and playing rogue decks without entering tournaments. People do it all the time on my shop. I see players all the time who go to locals, don't play in tournaments, they sit in the cut, chill with everybody, play their rogue deck, and they go to hell home. They don't complain about the meta. They understand the meta is goofy. They don't like the meta. They want to play their fun deck like Black Wings or whatever, and they're good. Or if you want to play something a little less powerful, you can go play Edison. I know the argument is, well, Chris, everyone don't have a locals to go to play just rogue decks with casuals. Everyone don't have a locals to go to that plays Edison. I understand it, but guess what? There's a website called duelingbook.com. Duelingbook.com, bro, is a casual heaven. They have a section that you can make custom cards. So literally, you don't have to own a Yu-Gi-Oh card. You can make your own custom deck, play custom cards, and have a custom battle with somebody and live out your TV show fantasies. You can literally go to duelingbook.com, play casual duels, make a note, say, hey, no meta decks, let's just play rogue decks. And there's a large number of people who would do that stuff. So I don't want to hear this crappy argument that casuals don't have anywhere to go. Casual players are not entitled to enter a tournament and do well. It just don't work that way. Go to the freaking fighting game community and complain that you can't win with a meta character. They're gonna clown you. Now I know there's that one dude in the fighting game community called Low Tier God, but his clownery speaks for itself. If you know his history, you know dude's a clown. But the fact of the matter is though, you have people like that who complain about things, people using meta decks, no originality. Like I said, I've made all these lame excuses. Like I said, I eventually just grew up and grew out of it, and it's like, you know what? I don't care. Like, Real talk, if everything was the same power, so let's say, for example, if decks from 2002, 2010, 2015 even was the same power as the decks from 2025, Yu-Gi-Oh! Would be a dead card game. You know why would it be a dead card game? Because the game would be boring. It'd be no point of investing in new stuff, and Konami eventually would cancel the game because without power creep, your game gets dull, it gets boring, and players will eventually quit and go to other things. That's the reason why games like, let's say, for example, Battle Spirits died. The original set of Battle Spirits died from back in the day because the game really didn't evolve past the first set where everything was still balanced. So you had decks from the first set in Battle Spirits back in the day able to compete with decks from set 5. That shouldn't happen. Power creep is an incentive for players to buy, invest into the game. Like I said, if you don't want to play all the money for the expensive stuff, you can always play low rarity stuff. You can always play things that are cheaper alternatives to the format that you can compete with. Runic Sun's a great example. Like, I'm a player who, if you guys have been watching my channel for the longest time, you guys know I've been playing Heroes. Heroes is a deck that was kind of expensive at one point, then it got dirt cheap, then it got expensive, then it got dirt cheap. And the best thing about the Hero deck is, once it got dirt cheap, I was still doing okay at locals. I was opening product at locals via OTS, trading my stuff into locals, and investing into at least one more Charmy. And, you know, because of my YouTube, I got the other 2 more Charmy. But the point is, you can go to locals, play casually, have a good time, and slowly work your way into a meta deck if that's what you want to do. So to wrap this video up, yeah, I mean, I might make a video like this every week. The more I see the craziness community, I might start doing reactions to these videos. I just don't want people think I'm trying to start drama or cause any confusion in the community about me taking shots. It's just one of them things where I just get so sick and tired of the crap, bro. Like, I don't understand how people don't see this. Like, you're not entitled to have a balanced card game. Every card game is going to have its ups and downs. Like Joshua Smith said in this video, and I 100% agree with. You go to things like One Piece, Lorcana, they're on like set 2, set 3. Of course the game is gonna be slower and fast paced. By set 10, 15, get back at us. The game's gonna be a little more crappy. You go to Pokemon. Pokemon might be a little bit more balanced where they don't have cards that interact on your opponent's turn. But guess what though? Pokemon has its own slew of issues in the form of scalpers. Scalpers buying all the products, so yeah, you might be able to technically play Pokemon on a budget, but for the players that like to bling out their decks, you can't really do much. And then honestly, I haven't played Pokemon in years, but from what people have told me that's played it recently, they said they like, honestly, Yu-Gi-Oh! More because of the technical play. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is one of the very few card games, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic, is one of the very few card games that reward skill. People complain that Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, Yu-Gi-Oh! Require you to understand the complex knowledge of your opponent's deck in order to win. And guess what, y'all? That's good. That's a good thing. Who wants to play a card game that don't require skill? Now, granted, I'm sounding hypocritical. I'm calling myself out too. I complained about these things before. And it was bad for myself because, you know, I didn't realize how dumb I was sounding until I actually sat down and thought about it. And I came to the conclusion, like, dude, I sound like a clown, bro. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Rewards skill when you're willing to play the good decks. Like, if you don't want to play a good deck, or the good rogue decks, the good cheap decks, the good meta decks, you're not going to win. You can't play your crap deck forever. Now, every once in a while, every blue moon, somebody come up with a deck from 10 years ago, compete and do well, and that's good for them. Kudos to them. But all the time, I think a lot of time players just don't want to invest and take that time out and try to refine their skills of their rogue decks. They just want to complain, and just never get better. So, in conclusion, man, for the casuals out there who might be watching, who may be raging, who may be unsubscribing, dude, just get better. Either play better decks. If you don't want to play better decks, play your deck that you like to play and refine it to the format. Make a game out of it. That's what I did. And I had a blast scoring X2 at locals because when I finally went X1 and better, I was happy. Now, granted, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has its issues. I get it. And once again, I'm going to wrap this video back up. The biggest issues of Yu-Gi-Oh! For casual players is honestly just the pricing. Pricing sucks. And, you know, with the pricing we have now, it doesn't make the investment worth it to learn all this knowledge that we ain't crap pricing. But we do it for the love of the game, and you know, I do it because I have a YouTube channel, and I do it because, you know, I like to play Yu-Gi-Oh! But I understand that, and I accept it for what it is, and I just hope the game gets better. But as far as like the regular casual, you know, players who just don't care about that. Like, dude, if you don't have to go to locals. Play with your there's nothing wrong with playing with your buddies, man. Nothing wrong with playing with your buddies. So let me know what you guys think, man. Am I a little too harsh on casual players? Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below. I like to think that my idea is spot on because, like, I think, honestly, bro, I think they giving Konami a little bit too much flack. And honestly, they need to redirect that flack somewhere else. Now, one last thing, too. Konami also needs to improve the new player problem, but that's a whole other can of worms because Yu-Gi-Oh is a really complex game. I think Master Duel is great for getting new players in, but I think where Konami really would get a new players in is with a fire anime, and Konami hasn't made a fire anime just yet. People keep calling me, I'm sorry about that. Konami hasn't made a fire anime just yet in order to get new players in. So if they get the fire anime, they'll be good. So anyway, man, it's your boy Rogue Hero, and I'm signing out. Peace. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one.